university and capitalized on that to a large extent. Software technology, in fact, is more than 3 times more concentrated in Provo-Orem than it is in the United States overall. Now, fortunately for me, Raleigh-Cary ended up second on that list since we're here today. It has been one of the fastest growing metro areas in technology over the past 20 years, even farther back than that. It is truly today one of the top technology clusters in the country. SAS, IBM with a presence here, a rapidly growing biopharmaceutical industry. Salt Lake City comes up third on that list. Computer systems and design is an important driver of economic growth. And the University of Utah has been much more involved in commercialization efforts there in the medical technologies and biotechnology. Austin, Round Rock, Texas, it's truly an example of a thriving 21st century knowledge-based community. It is 10th in the nation in terms of concentration of high-tech activity relative to the size of its economy, and its leading high-tech employers are a who's who among them. A lot of people, even in the United States, don't really know how important Huntsville, Alabama is in terms of technology. It ranks 7th overall in the United States in terms of concentration of technology, and of course, rockets have played a role in that development with NASA's Marshall Space Flight Center headquartered there. But professional, technical, and scientific services are very important there. And you can see they're much more concentrated in Huntsville than they are for the U.S. overall. Let me conclude by making a few comments about what places can do to be successful in the new knowledge-based economy. Well, one is you need to look into your situation objectively. You need to look at it strategically about the future, not like you would look at a weather forecast, but you need to have a critical detachment and an evolving sense of where you're going. You need a kind of long-range shared vision that really has a strategic blueprint that guides the efforts. Awarding incentives on value-added economic impact, not on the number of jobs, but on the quality of the jobs that are created. And many places need to target what I would call tech anchor firms in order to get a place on the map. So I'm talking about companies like an HP, an Intel, or a Google. If you can attract one of those major tech players, other tech firms will wonder what's happening, and maybe they've looked over something that was important. So you need to have a network of local institutions, and I'm really talking about the social capital that pays returns on new economy assets. These networks can inform and help entrepreneurs get started, make connections with venture capitalists, with universities, and adjusting their curriculum to meet the needs of the firms. They're very important. And I know I'm speaking to the choir here when I say this, but promoting commercialization of research and development is absolutely critical. Key research and innovation assets, universities, science parks, other research centers need to be fully engaged to leverage for economic development. Also, they need to, in addition to educating our young, they're incubators for new economy industries. Commercialization efforts must improve at many universities, in my opinion, and it should be a major mission of the universities. Lastly, regional capital and financing policies are essential for encouraging startup activities and attracting businesses to a location. You need to encourage angel networks to form, regional supported seed financing pools, venture capital, and saleable tax credits. And you need to sustain and foster an entrepreneurial infrastructure, whether it's improving access to capital, helping a support network to form entrepreneurial programs at community colleges and universities. They're absolutely critical. Improvements in high-end human capital must start in K through 12 education as well, because unless you have good K through 12 educational systems, you're not going to attract the human capital that you need with parents who have young children. So let me say this. In closing, stakeholders must recognize that diversifying the economy by seeding and nurturing the industries of the 21st century, which are based upon knowledge, are a long-term commitment. It requires investments that are being made on a sustained, consistent basis over a number of decades, not years. For example, success stories like the North Carolina's Research Triangle didn't happen overnight. Those investments have been made since the 1950s. You need to look forward strategically, and if you don't move ahead, you risk falling behind. And I appreciate your patience and the time. Thank you very much.